Hey you guys, this is Rafael. I hope you're all doing well. I hope things point in your direction. Today we're going to talk about a Confederate bond that's got a couple of really neat stories to be told. This one is one of the many Confederate bonds that were sold to to help supply the war in the early days. And they're a great thing to collect because there's a lot of variation. I bought two big currency related collections. I bought one of some wonderful variations of Confederate bonds. And I also bought a cool big collection of various Virginia state and local banknotes. And I'm putting them on as I get time. There's some great things in there. A lot of them, when you research them, they have a wonderful story. This one is one that has that kind of story. It's a $100 Confederate savings bonds. You see the Confederate savings bonds in various denominations. There'll be some for 50, 100, 500, 1,000. This one is 100. It paid 8%. It was done because of the act of the Confederate Congress, August 19th, 1861. And they would pay 8%. Which meant that every 6 months at a date that's noted on the little coupon like this, you could go and you could get your $4. So you got paid $8 a year for investing the $100 initially. The note or the piece is hand signed and numbered, and it's got an image in the center of it like this. Who is that strapping young Amish lad, or the Amish looking lad in the center? He's got a neat story. This cat is Stephen Mallory. And Stephen Mallory was born in Trinidad of the West Indies in 1812, 1813. We don't know exactly sure. But he moved to Key West in 1820. He became a prominent citizen there and was actually elected to Senate in 1851, the U.S. Senate. When the war broke out, he resigned and became Secretary of the Navy for the Confederacy. He's one of those guys that was very important, but you don't hear his name as often as you probably should. Because can you imagine when the war broke out, you had no Navy, you had to get the ships that you could, you had to make do, you had to get things from Europe here. It would not have been an easy job. It was actually a very daunting job. But Stephen Mallory said, I can do it. And do it he did. He made a war that probably should have lasted a few months, last 4 years. And the Confederate Navy was very effective. You had the CSS Alabama and you had the ironclads. He did a lot of things. But it's Stephen Mallory. And he served the whole war. At the end of the war, he said, screw this, I'm going to Europe. He didn't quite make it. He was captured in Georgia in 1865, served a year in prison, and they let him go because secession was not illegal. There was nothing in the Constitution that said that a state could not leave. Didn't work out that way, but he is one of the people like Jefferson Davis that they let go because they had broken no law in secession. Not to say some people didn't break laws otherwise on both sides, but there was no law against secession. So this bond has his image in it as one of the ways to say thank you because he was a very important person in the Confederate government. As for the Confederate government, when the war broke out, they had to have several people that could print the currency, could print the bonds. And there were several people that they allowed to do so. One of the people that printed some and has a unique history that honestly I didn't know before about 10 minutes ago. I read it and I was like, holy cow, how did I not know that? I've been in this 30 years. I should know that by now. There was a cat named Blanton Duncan. And you'll see his mark on the things, B. Duncan. But Blanton Duncan was from Kentucky. He was the son of Congressman Garrett Duncan. And Garrett Duncan, when the war broke out, he said, I don't want to choose sides. I'm going to Europe. And that's exactly what he did. He goes to Europe and he avoids having to go either way during the war. His son said, nope, that ain't for me. Blanton Duncan, the guy that printed this bond, helped raise the 1st Kentucky Confederate Cavalry. He actually fought at the Battle of First Manassas or First Bull Run, depending on which angle you're looking at it from. And he's actually mentioned in some of Beauregard's dispatches. So evidently he fought bravely. And he realized, though, that he could do other things. And so he goes into printing. In January of 1862, we find him in Richmond. And he sets up a print shop and gets some contracts to print things. And he realizes if I get rid of all of my competition, I can print them all, not just what I'm doing. And so he did a few sneaky things, trying to assure that he got all of the contracts. He got caught. And it says that one of the inspectors was going around and he literally stumbles over some of the pieces that he had gotten from some of the other people. And so he loses his contracts, and he's gone by 63. This one was printed by the issue of 1861, but it was hand dated from May 8th, 1862. So this is one of the last ones that he did for the Confederate government. He stayed on printing some things like Louisiana banknotes afterwards, but it's kind of cool. And what did he do after he wasn't printing anymore? He joined back up with the Confederate Army and served until the end of the war. There's a notation saying that he served all the way through. So you've got a cool person on the bond. You've got a interesting story on the printer, and you got a cool bond to begin with. So, and that's one thing about the bonds. They are larger. They are generally have a cool center scene, which is referred to as a vignette. They usually have a cool story to go with them, and they're still affordable. You can buy probably 80% of the Confederate bonds you can buy for under $200 a piece. So they're a wonderful thing to collect. I love them. I think they're neat because you got to remember, every time you get one of these, whoever bought that believed in it, and they believed in it enough that they invested in the Confederacy, and this is their token of the investment. Didn't quite work out the way they planned, but it's a great piece and it's a great thing to collect. If you get a chance, go on there because I've got several different variations on there. There's a little bit of everything, and I'll be adding more over the next few weeks, good Lord willing. So go on there, check it out. I don't know what it is, what the weather's like where you guys are at, but here it is colder than a well digger's. So remember, a lot of folks might not have what you have. Be sure that you check on those neighbors to see if they are safe and warm. Be sure that if you see somebody that needs help, not just when it's cold, but anytime, be sure to help them. And I heard something on the radio yesterday, and it just made me think, I'll mention it. I want to challenge you guys. I want you to pick up, next time you go to the store, pick up an extra pair of socks. We all, if you are blessed like I am blessed, or most of us are blessed, you don't think anything at all about socks. But if you don't have any, man, they can change your life. So pick up an extra pair of socks, run them by, and just drop them off at a shelter. There are men's shelters. There are women's shelters. There are people that run food kitchens. If you get them to them, they'll find somebody that needs them. So it's not hard, it's not expensive, but you can help change somebody's life. So my friends at the table, they do a tree of warmth, and it's just a tree that's out front. It looks like a Christmas tree, but instead of ornaments, it has socks and it has hats and it has blankets underneath it. And if you need it, you can go and get it, and it's helped people. So be that positive influence. It's not hard. It's just something that is easy to do that might help somebody else. Because I am thankful to be where I'm at. I'm thankful for the food that I had this morning. I'm thankful for the warm clothes I've got on me. And if I can share a little bit of that with folks that need it, my life's going to be better. and I know your life will be better too. I hope you guys are well. I hope you're staying warm. I hope you tell those ones that you love them, because just doing those acts, they might not know. Just say it. It's easy. Say, I love you. Because I love you guys, and I'll catch you next time.